The beginning of my 3rd week in Paris. I cannot believe 2 weeks have passed. I've done a lot, but there is so much more I want to do. So much more to discover. I had initially planned to take a day trip to a different city or a weekend trip to another country while here. But now, I don't know how I can. I don't know if I want to waste being away from my beloved Paris for even a few hours. I had heard of a bookstore on a peniche, a barge, floating in Canal Saint Denis, so of course I had to see it for myself. To the 19th I go today, to a floating bookstore called Les Reves. Water and Dreams. Is that not the loveliest name for a store? I was bright and early this morning, the only customer browsing. Every single one of the staff was so friendly to me, so welcoming and open. The bookstore has a bohemian air, doubling as a restaurant, and filled with plants and plant books. This is the type of bookstore that invites one to linger in comfort. I so dearly wanted to buy a book, any book, but everything was in French, alas. However, I did end up purchasing a white enamel mug that a staff member unearthed from the back. Up the canal from the bookstore, I heard a cacophony, hustle and bustle and voices calling out. It was a Thursday morning market, but so different from the one near my apartment. The energy here is crazier, noisier. Everyone hurrying, bargaining, jostling. It is amazing to watch. Besides a lively canal area, the 19th also has its own green treasure, Parc de Buttes Chaumont, which sits on an impressive 62 acres. Chaumont derives from Chauvemont, bald hill, which used to occupy this site. Now there is a man-made lake that surrounds a Roman temple on a rocky peak dedicated to Cybele. Buttes Chaumont was designed by Jean-Charles Alphand at the time of Napoleon III and Baron Haussmann. Alphand also had previously designed Bois de Boulogne and Bois de Vincennes. Before Alphand was commissioned to transform this site to one of Paris's famed green spaces, it had previously been a quarry for gypsum mines. But before the mines, it had been an unsavory site, a repository for sewage waste and horse carcasses. Of the dump site, Jean-Charles Alphand reported the site spread infectious emanations over the entire city. Yet this version of the area pales in comparison to its first morbid origin, when it was known as the Gibbet of Montfaucon, a grisly showcase for those who had fallen victim to the gallows elsewhere in Paris. Remains were sometimes displayed for years. Today, the park is a bucolic space, perfect for families and those in need of a pleasant escape from urban surroundings. Having explored a little of this vast park, I claimed an empty green bench across from the lake and with a view of the temple. Almost immediately, I was joined by an elderly lady who appeared to be fleeing a screaming toddler and its tired parents further up. At least, that's what I gathered, for I did not understand her rapid-fire French. She was motioning to the bench she had abandoned and the crying child near it. I smile in sympathy, and that is enough for her. She kept on talking, perhaps telling me her life story, while I nodded mutely. Until she saw me take out my lunch, and then perhaps not wanting to impose, or not wanting to smell my hard-boiled eggs, she said goodbye and left me to it. Today is such a warm day that for my lunch I craved Salad Nicoise, the ultimate summer picnic dish, in my opinion. Greens, green beans, grape tomatoes, hard-boiled eggs, olives, fillets of tuna, and a lemon olive oil dressing. Very simple and delicious, perfect for a hot day. I was able to enjoy my Salad Nicoise in peace, fortunately. However, afterwards, I was only able to read a little of my book before a man approached and started talking to me. Unlike the old lady, this one spoke English. All I really wanted to do was read and enjoy the sunshine. But women can't seem to be left alone by themselves here. The man says that he is a French-German teacher who bought a 1 to 2 million euro house nearby to rent out. And he has very few friends, he has no family, and that he absolutely hates lying. Which to me translates as the following. He has a wife and children and is not at all single or available and knows many people and is lying through his teeth. My goodness, do women fall for these illogical claims? I may not speak French, but I understand the language of players. At least I learned a few French words from this so-called teacher. Lying is mensonge. Canard is the duck, not to be confused with cunard, which is a different kind of hole. And sous la table means under the table. Learning a few words and about life in France, I admit was enjoyable, if only the conversation ended there. But he asked to have dinner with me that night. I agreed so that I could get rid of him speedily and without fuss. I later texted him that I would be unable to make it, then blocked his number. Maybe it was the heat that tired me out, but I cut short my exploration and soon went home. My apartment seemed like such a haven after that. I did some cleaning and tried to figure out the washing machine. I pressed some buttons and off it went. I got lost in my chores and reading and did not notice that it had been in the washing and cleaning cycle for over 3 hours. Once I realized, I frantically pressed more buttons and then the water began to drain and the barrel started to spin. Finally. My day began with water and ended with water. And somewhere in there was a dream. At least now I have clean linens.